I've spoken on this subject in tidbits, and I talked about it more in detail this past Monday on Purple Daily with Declan Goff, but I want to expand on this a little bit further. Anthony Richardson, quarterback out of Florida, built like a tank, phenomenal athlete. When he takes off running, look out. And he has such impressive arm strength, he can probably throw it from his own 1 yard line to the back of the opposite end zone if he wanted to. The problem is when discussing the skill set of Anthony Richardson and why evidently the Vikings should not only select him in this upcoming draft if he falls to them at 23, but damn it, if necessary, even with only 4 picks available, they should trade up to get Anthony Richardson, which would cost you an additional first-round pick next year, by the way. We talk about everything about this guy except his ability to throw to his receivers at an accurate clip. Last year completed just 54% of his passes, 17 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. We ignore that. We also ignore that he has tunnel vision with his first read. If it's not there, he takes off running. In other words, Mitch Trubisky. That's okay. Give him coaching. It's going to fix everything. Poor accuracy. Can't go through his progressions. That's all right. Give him coaching. Everything's going to be just fine. When did this whole idea start that the most important attributes of the quarterback position, downright awful, doesn't matter, trade up for him anyway, everything's going to work out? Of the 32 starting quarterbacks last year, only 3 of them had a sub 60% completion rate their final year of college before going to the pros. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Matt Ryan. And if we want to dissect it even further, Matt Ryan, his final year at Boston College, completed 59.3% of his passes. That was a one-off because in each of the previous 2 seasons, he completed 62%. And Lamar Jackson, following his MVP season in 2019, he's regressed as a passer. The only true turnaround for a quarterback profile like Anthony Richardson in today's NFL, as far as being a quality starter in terms of throwing the football, is Josh Allen. That's it. And he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And even if you're like, I'll settle for the Lamar Jackson turnout, add him along with Josh Allen, that's 2. 32 starting quarterbacks in the league. 2 fit the mold of Anthony Richardson. That's a 6% success rate. And we're talking about how the Vikings should trade up for this guy with not only 23 this year, but a first-round pick next year for the ultimate project of the most important position in all of sports. Vikings need to move on from Kirk Cousins does not also mean replace him with any damn body. Anthony Richardson is far too much of a risk. Now, certainly in a world where everything clicks for him as a passer, if he can figure it out at the next level, he'll be a monster. But I'm not trying to see the Vikings mortgage the future for ifs. Let someone else do it. Now, switching gears here, Dalvin Tomlinson, it was thought that Minnesota would let him walk, letting his contract void, leaving behind a $7.5 million dead cap hit. And that was until Field Yates dropped some breaking news earlier Wednesday, announcing that the 2 parties agreed to push back the void date to March 15th. This clearly suggests that there's mutual interest in re-signing perhaps your best defensive player last year, which I know isn't saying much. Now, it's not necessarily a lock that he's going to return, but it's at least promising. No matter what happens, the Vikings, they still need to add a defensive lineman via the draft. With Harrison Phillips and assuming that Tomlinson returns, you need a formidable third guy, not named Jonathan Bullard or Ross Blacklock. Now, with Tomlinson, the defensive starters that you need going into next year, 1 defensive lineman, 1 edge, 1 middle linebacker, 1 nickel, 1 safety. So that's 5 starters with Tomlinson. Without him, that pushes it to 6. 2 of them being on the defensive line, along with a $7.5 million dead cap hit. That's tough. I hope they can work out some sort of deal to bring Dalvin Tomlinson back. Out Royal says, Bijan Robinson, nope, we don't need him. We already got Ty Chandler, who, don't forget, everybody hyped up after last year's draft. We got Kene Nwangu. Running backs are a dime a dozen. You can literally find them anywhere. Now, you do need a third running back. What I'll say to that is, assuming that Kwesi trades back enough times and gets, let's say, a 6th or 7th round draft pick, then okay, use that on a running back. Or hell, sign an undrafted free agent. It's fine. We don't need Bijan Robinson. Robert Harry says, I agree that the Vikings should look to move up in the draft next year for the exact reasons you gave. I love Caleb Williams, but he will likely go first in the draft, but Drake May and Shedeur Sanders also look really good. Now, I know it may seem impossible. I understand that Caleb Williams is going to be the first overall pick in next year's draft. I know that. You're going to have to be, if you're the Vikings, you're going to have to be the highest bidder. You see these teams once in a while. I feel like, if not every draft, maybe every other draft, you see these teams mortgage their future to trade up for the first or second overall pick to get their guy at quarterback. Now, the Vikings, they've never done it, but if they are going to do it, it should be next year. You just have to be the highest bidder. So for me, if we believe, let's say all of us collectively, if we believe that Caleb Williams is going to be that dude, obviously you're going to have to give up your first round pick next year, a swap basically. The year after that, first round pick, another first round pick. Would you give up next year's first along with 2 future first round picks for Caleb Williams? If the answer is yes and you're the highest bidder, boom, you've got the number 1 overall pick. Kwang Nguyen says, all I hear is Kirk is not the right guy. Please let me know who the right guy is. And are you going to guarantee that he will get us to the Super Bowl? And I didn't know that Randy is better than Kurt Warner. I'm assuming you mean Kurt Warner there. On breaking down the play. Even Kurt said that it was not Kirk's fault, but this guy Randy is still yapping on that last play on Kirk. There are so many layers to this comment. Okay, first off, you're saying, who are you going to replace him with? How many times on this channel have I said that I'll take Hendon Hooker in the 3rd round of this draft? And if it doesn't work out, if you're the Vikings and you're not satisfied with his progress by next year, okay, I would mortgage the future for Caleb Williams. I've said that several times. And are you going to guarantee that he'll get us to a Super Bowl? Can you guarantee that Kirk is going to get us to a Super Bowl? Huh? 1 playoff win? Maybe can get us to the divisional round and that's it at best? Is Kirk going to get us there? Hell no. And also, well, Kurt Warner, he broke down the play. Respectfully, I don't care for 2 reasons. Number 1, Dexter Lawrence was in the backfield all game long. Correct? Yes, this is not new information, right? Okay, fine. On that last play, knowing that Dexter Lawrence has been in your grill for the entire game, snap the ball, immediately say, I'm going to flush outside the pocket either to the right or the left to buy myself some extra time. Secondly, this dude, last time I checked, Kirk Cousins has been allowed to audible all season long. I agree with Kurt Warner in the sense that it was a poor play call by Kevin O'Connell. You've been allowed to audible all season. Why didn't you audible right there? You get paid $35 million a year, whatever the hell it's going to be, if you get another extension. Come on, man. Put your big boy pants on. Be a leader that this team needs. Kirk Cousins, I'm so done with this dude. We're back at it tomorrow. We'll see you then.